What's up, guys? Chemist here from Meanwhile in the Man Cave, and we take a look at all things pop culture, games, toys, or anything we think is cool. And today we are taking a look at the 1/6 scale Dementor from the Harry Potter series. This is by Star Ace Toys. We don't have any other Star Ace toys, so I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to look. This is the deluxe version, which I believe lights up. So let's start right off here. We are going to take a look at the box. On the surface, I like the art on the box. It looks pretty cool. That might actually be a picture of the figure on the side, but you've got Hogwarts in the back, a few other Dementors. Again, Dementor on the side, some Dementors in the background. And there's Hogwarts again. And I believe this is more of the Dementors from Prisoner of Azkaban. So that's the design I prefer, honestly, from the movie. Here again, Dementor. So now, on the surface, the box doesn't feel as sturdy or as substantial as, say, a Hot Toys box. But, hey, what do I care as long as the figure's good? So let's open this up and check it out. So, box is pretty minimal here. Very similar to probably what you get, what I know when we got the G.I. Joe 3-0 series. Very brief overview of the box here. Doesn't seem to be a ton of accessories. All right, so it comes with a couple soul-sucking effects that go in the mouth. This is the first one. And the other one here. Almost like a hand, it looks like. Kind of weird. But again, not a whole lot to look at as far as that goes. And here it is, the Dementor itself. So, I don't know what to say here. So, this is the cloak. It's not real heavy. It's kind of a very thin material, but there does seem to be wires in different portions of it. We're going to see how that, well, at least in this outer portion, and it seems to be layered. But one thing I got to tell you, I don't think in good conscience I could actually call this a figure, because there really isn't much figure to it. It's more, honestly, of a torso. It's not even really a torso. I would say it's more of a bust. So here, if you look, this is about as far down as this thing goes as far as a body goes, right? Look where my finger is. All rest of that is basically a post to put in the figure stand. Now he's got his arms, right? Because those are connected to his shoulders. In different lights, this cloak looks black. It's got kind of a green hue to it. I don't mind that. That's kind of cool. But it's literally not much to this figure. So, to me, this should be a very inexpensive figure for one of these things, because there's not much figure to it. I don't even know. I'm kind of curious. Let's see here. All right. So the arms do go up. It isn't, like they're just having a hand on the end of some posts or something here. So at least we have that. But as far as that goes, there's not much here to look at. Not much to say. So I'm going to show you the base to this right now. And here it is. Here's the base. Nothing particularly fancy. The post that is the Dementor kind of will screw into there. I don't know if I will utilize this when I finally put him on display. I believe I will have them more or less hanging like they're floating. That's my intention anyway. It does come with the little button cell batteries here. 3 of them that it takes. And here's your instructions. Basically shows that you take the back of his head off, and that's where you're gonna place the batteries. It's also a on and off switch there, I believe. I didn't know he has articulated fingers, but supposedly he does. So let's check out that articulation right now. Okay, just so you can see in detail, this is what it's going to look like when you have the batteries in. You can see the on and off switch right there at the top. Okay, let's see. I got the hood off here just so you can kind of see how his head articulates here. Obviously, you've got your left and right motion. A little bit of tilting down, a little bit back. I would have thought they would have had his head be able to tilt back a little further than that, honestly. But, you know, honestly, the left and right motion and all that kind of stuff, you're really not going to see too much of that because of the fact is that hood's not going to allow you to see that. But the tilting back could have been handy if you have him in a flying position. So you're really not going to be able to move it that much. Now, his hands, or arms, I should say. You've got your outward motion here. You got an elbow joint. No tilting here. Like, you can't angle that outward, which kind of stinks. And you can obviously put it out. But again, even at the shoulder, there doesn't seem to be any lateral movement here. So that's a little disappointing as well. So it doesn't even, what little figure there is here, it's not articulated really well. As far as these fingers, so those do move individually. Really only near the palm. None of the knuckles articulate anywhere. The thumb moves. You know, all the fingers do move. They just only move basically where it's connected to the palm. So not a ton of articulation there, but it is cool that they made the fingers articulate at all. Honestly, they should, because not much other articulation is going on here. The post that you have is a standard, you know, wired post like you've seen with some of the Hot Toys. That is bendable. So not much to see there. So I guess we're going to rush right through this. We're going to get him into some poses, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right. So here he is, illuminated with the soul stealing effect in his mouth. They look really cool. That I like. I just think, I mean, I got a really good deal on these. I never would have paid full price for these. These things probably should have come in like a 3-pack or something. So just because there's just nothing to them really. And even what there is of them, there's very little articulation. I mean, I don't know why they didn't put ball joints in these arms so you could have had the lateral movement going out, or a hinge at the elbow to be able to, there's not even a hinge at the wrists to angle the wrists at all. So that's kind of crazy. Bottom line, they'll look great hovering in a display over your, like, you know, your Hogwarts castle, mini Hogwarts castle or something like that. That's kind of cool. But there should have been a lot more to these things. And I know there's not a lot you could probably do. I mean, they're mostly cloak and skeletal face, but the articulation you at least could have put in. Cloaks are done well. They're kind of a mess and everything, which is kind of like what you want for this effect. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to look at here. Here it is, not illuminated. But the illumination effect is cool. I guess one of the things they could have done with these is they could have wired this whole stand, right? Put a USB cable in the back of it and had that running up through the pole that goes into the torso, and you could have had them illuminated that way. That would have been another way that could have added some value to this. But I guess the final verdict is, if you can get these on a really, really good deal, like I did, they might be worth it to have, but there's no way I'd buy these at full price. So anyway, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and please come back for the next episode of Meanwhile the Man Cave. I'll talk to you guys later.